Do not change your browsers.
I'm reading through the email and I'm sitting back and I'm like, hey, wait. And I realized that this guy who we're getting ready to interview, I actually bought his book on the train 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Really?
This same book. We'd like to welcome you to the Alarm Show, Mr. Heru Ptah.
Greetings. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to all
So,
of us.
Heru, for those of the Alarm Nation who are not familiar with your work, who is Heru Ptah?
I started out as a spoken word artist, and I'd eventually gotten on Def Poetry Jam. And after that, I transitioned from poetry into doing novels, and my first novel was called A Hip Hop Story. And I wrote that in probably like 2003. And then I was selling that on the trains as well. And the director publishing for MTV Books saw me and liked my pitch, and he bought the book, and then he took the book home and he read it, he loved it, and then like 2 days later he said, they wanted to republish it as an MTV book. And so then that went on to do that. Then I kind of moved on, and I was blessed enough to be the book writer, when they say book writer, for a Broadway play called Hot Feet. And meaning book writer, meaning that like I was responsible for writing like the story down, not the music and everything. And it was based on the music of Earth, Wind and Fire. So I got to work with the great Maurice White. And,
Shining star.
That's right. That was in the play. And I also worked with the great Maurice Hines. That's a brother of Gregory Hines. He was a director and choreographer of it. And then after that, been through some ups and downs and stuff. And then I wrote Show Me a Beautiful Woman, which is, it started off as a screenplay first, and then I novelized it, and then I put it out, and now I'm here pushing this.
All right. We gotta applaud that man for that. Show Me a Beautiful Woman. What is that about?
Now, Show Me a Beautiful Woman is about a man who is addicted to newness. He does not live anywhere for more than 6 months at a time. He does not believe in owning anything, because when you own something, it also owns you. He lives off the kindness of women, and he lives well.
Very well.
The thing has been with so many women in his life, he's beginning to feel hollow and empty inside, and he thinks he may be beginning to lose interest in women until he meets this one particular woman. But she, knowing the kind of man he is, she won't allow herself to fall for him, so he makes her a bet that within a month that they'll have sex. And for going along with the bet, he'll answer all of her questions about men.
So I connected to, the character, the lead character, and I just thought that this was a great story. So when I heard that you were coming, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be dope.
Well, I think the concept of newness is, it's something like a lot of us kind of have. We just don't have it to that extreme as this character is. Like, we all like new stuff, but we also like to hold on to our things. And the difference with him is that he doesn't believe in owning anything. So after he wears something 3 times, he gives it away.
Gone.
It's gone. And it doesn't matter. And he wears a lot of expensive stuff, and it doesn't matter how expensive it is. He doesn't believe in holding on to anything. So it's not just relationships, it's with any or anything he doesn't hold on to. So he doesn't work either, and he lives off the kindness of women. So
shit, I wish I could live off the kindness of women without having to sling peen. But to what you were saying, I actually definitely agree with what you're saying as far as the newness. And that what I liked about the character is that being that he was like that with everything, it kind of, for the people who might have identified with the character, it didn't leave anything out. Because some people that say, oh, I move from place to place every 6 months, but I don't change girls every 6 months. No, it was every category that he felt like that. So that it was part of his makeup for everything. So when you looked at it, because I like to look at characters and stuff and then put myself in their shoes or juxtapose. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, I know that feeling. Like, I might not have moved around every 6 months, but I do know that feeling of, and the feeling of not wanting to keep things or being cognitively or disassociated from them. Like, I it's part of protecting your emotion. Because if you hold on, say, I love this sweater, and then somebody takes this sweater, now I got to deal with my emotion. If I have no connection to this sweater, when it's gone, it's gone. And I'm good like that.
Because everything you love, you own. And you have to take ownership of your love.
my understanding is that people are in relationships with their pride. They're not in relationships with their partner. They get to be in relationships with their pride. And even a gentleman in the book, even a gentleman in the story, he was more in a relationship with his pride and his understanding of how he thought he should be and how he felt he should be, until somebody showed him that there was some other options for him. Because he was actually fine, comfortably in that thought. He was comfortable in that thought, in my opinion. He was comfortable in that thought until he started to become disassociated, because it was like, okay, this is now becoming too easy. It's like we talked about earlier with the toys.
There's a line in it when, in the beginning, when he's sleeping with all these different women, and a thing that he does is that in the middle of the night he'll wake up and he'll like just run his hands over her body to see if he still feels something. And there's a line where he says that her flesh had become meat. And so it's almost as if like it's a dead person laying next to you. And this is just from repetition of doing this again and again and again. It's like, even if like whatever your favorite food is, right? And you love it to death. But if you ate it every single day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eventually after a while, you know? And
It tastes like shit.
yeah, and then so that's what's happening. And then it's a kind of a scary thing, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that whole thing wherein, you know, I really think I'm beginning to lose interest in women. Like, then, you know, I'm feeling dead inside. It's not sparking anything. So when he meets this woman, Zawe, and she challenges him, and she does not give in to him as easily. And, you know, for him, setting up the bet with her is more like just a creative game. And
Yeah, that was a new way to get a new game of new toys.
and it was like, and then one of the themes of the book is honesty, because he's very honest with her in answering these questions that she's asking him about men. And so, you know, just to be so brutally, blatantly honest with a woman all the time is refreshing.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of times, and let's just be real, sometimes I don't think we feel like we can tell our women the exact real raw truth.
Shit.
Sometimes it's like that. So what's next for Heru Ptah?
I'm actually working on a sequel to Show Me a Beautiful Woman right now.
Oh.
And
You know,
I wasn't even planning on writing a sequel, but like,
'Cause,
after I wrote it, like, I just meet people and everybody, yo, you have to write a second part, you have to write it, and everything.
You want to know what happened?
Well,
Right.
you know, we can't really talk about what happened, and you know, don't
'Cause I haven't read the
give away
book yet.
ending. But yeah, and but also,
No, not
you know,
yeah,
it's just
like,
taking
the
Show
next
Me a Beautiful Woman to the biggest, highest points that we can, and just, you know, really, you know, making it self-sustaining where it's selling on its own on a regular, and you know, but I know there's a ton of love for the book, and I I've sold like over 9,000 copies on my own within like the last probably year and a half, right? And but then a lot more people than that has read it, because I've run into people who said, oh yeah, one person bought it and like 4 people in the office floor read it, you know, or I bought it, my cousin read it, my auntie read it, and this person read it. And then like, you know, it's like, then it's funny when I run into people on the street who's like, oh yeah, you wrote that book? And it's like, oh yeah, my person, you know, this person gave me the book. Or I've had couples, you know, and that's an interesting thing. I've had couples read it. Like, a girlfriend read it, she loves it, gives it to her boyfriend reads it and loves it. So do you know how hard it is to get something like that both a man and a woman gonna read and both enjoy
it, right?
You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing that I really wanted to do. I really wanted to create, because like I really in my mind was trying to create something very commercial with this, right? And a lot of the other stuff I'd done before was very challenging, controversial in some ways. So I was like, let me write something commercial. And I was like, what's the most commercial thing out there? And it's like, it's a romantic comedy. But a romantic comedies always just turn me up. They always just seem so corny and not real. So I'm like, I wanted to write a romantic comedy that I know men would dig as well. So I wanted to make it real. I wanted to make it honest. And so that's how it came about, and everything just, you know, manifested.
So Heru, where can people find Show Me a Beautiful Woman?
Okay, so you can get it on Amazon. Like, if you don't get it directly from me, where you can just email me directly, and my email address is herumind@gmail.com. That's herumind@gmail.com. You can also just get it on Amazon, and just put in "Show Me a Beautiful Woman" on Amazon, and it will pop right up. And so those are the two ways you can get it right now.
All right. And if the people want to get in contact with you, maybe book you for another...
That same email address.
All right.
Works fine. You can also find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook. Just put in Heru Ptah, and I'll pop right up. Or you can find me on Instagram at Eye of Heru. That's EYEOFHERU. Again, that's EYEOFHERU.
Do not shake